The title of today's video is why it's a good thing when a narcissist is tearing you down. And obviously when a narcissist is tearing you down, it's not actually a good thing. Not very many of us enjoy it when a narcissist is criticizing us and nitpicking us and tearing us down. But it can be a sign of some really good things, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. When a narcissist is tearing you down, insulting you, criticizing you, especially if this is somebody that you trust and love and somebody you've had a really long relationship with, it can be really hard not to buy into what they're saying, at least a little bit. Even if you know they're being unreasonable, it's really hard to get rid of that voice in the back of your head that's saying, well, they do have a little bit of a point here or there, right? And it's also really difficult to not just feel awful about somebody that you care about or someone you trust looking down on you and being so critical and so mean to you, right? But if this is happening to you, I want to challenge you to try to practice whenever this is happening to you. Try to practice stopping yourself and asking yourself, is this criticism valid? Is it reasonable? If the shoe were on the other foot, would I be complaining and criticizing in the same way about the same things? And if this criticism is unreasonable and it's not valid, what is it that this person is trying to distract me from? What good things have I done, or what good things are happening to me that this person is trying to discredit or tear down or invalidate or minimize? In today's video, I'm going to go over several specific examples of some things that this might be. Situations in which a narcissist will tear you down and criticize you because you did something good or something good happened to you. And the first example that I want to talk about is just that. You did something really good. You did a really good job on something, or you did something really impressive. And the narcissist wants to minimize it, attack it, make it go away, basically. Most of us, at least here in the States, just had Thanksgiving last week, right? And so I thought this would be a good time to share a story of something that happened to me, or an experience that I at least observed, was present for, at a Thanksgiving dinner one time. So there's an older retired couple that I know, and in my opinion, the wife in this couple is very narcissistic, consistently follows a very narcissistic behavior pattern. And so this couple one year at Thanksgiving was invited to another family's Thanksgiving dinner. So they were kind of new, they were kind of the outsiders at this family Thanksgiving. They were guests. They had not met very many of the people there. And they showed up, and quite by surprise, quite unexpectedly, with no warning, this family invited the man in this couple to say the blessing on the food. And this totally took him off guard. Nobody was expecting this. And I mean, we could talk about how inappropriate that might have been to invite the guest that they don't know to say the prayer with no warning or preparation. But the point of this story is that he actually did really well. He said a blessing on the food that sounded like he'd been practicing it. He didn't sound flustered. He did an awesome job. And those of us that knew him well were really surprised, like, wow, where did that come from? Because he just wasn't the kind of person that you would necessarily think would do such a good job on the spot with no warning like that. But immediately after he was done, his wife immediately turned to him and started saying, you should have said this, you should have said that. And I don't know, I don't remember what she said he should have said, but the point is, this was really a shining moment for him, that people that knew him were really impressed. He did a really great job. All the attention was on him. He made a really good impression on this family. But immediately his wife felt the need to tear it down and to let him know what mistakes he made and how he didn't really do a very good job. Now, we could go over what it was that she thought he should have said, but when I thought about this later, I thought, no, he really impressed us all. He did a really exceptional job under that pressure with no warning. So, in my opinion, there was no valid reason to start criticizing him, especially immediately after he was done. And in my opinion, this was purely to minimize this good job he did, to distract him from any good feelings he might have about it. And so I want to share this story with anybody out there that might experience this kind of criticism from people, because I believe in that moment he probably took to heart what she was saying. I mean, it probably annoyed him, but I'm sure that it tore him down a little and made him feel just a little smaller. And so I just want to share with anybody out there that might experience something like that, that if somebody tears you down immediately after you're in a situation like that, stop and ask yourself, are they really just trying to minimize something good I just did? Are they trying to distract me from something that might actually make me feel good about myself or boost my confidence? Because I think that's what was happening here. Now, why would a narcissist do this? I think in this situation, the spotlight was on him. It wasn't on her. Nobody was paying attention to her. Nobody knew them very well. So he was making this really good first impression while she hadn't had a chance to do so yet. That probably made her feel a little threatened. Like, oh, the bar just got raised a little bit. Now I have to somehow beat him at this. I have to make a better impression than the one he's making. So that probably put a lot of pressure on her, made her feel kind of threatened. And also, when a narcissist has someone in their life that they have a lot of control over, that they manipulate, and that person suddenly steps out into a spotlight and does a really good job at something, that to the narcissist is a form of losing control, because that's not something they can take credit for. I mean, if it's something they can take credit for, that's different. Then they want that person to shine all they can. If they can stand in the background and pretend that really it's because of them that this person is doing so well at something. But in a situation like the story I just told, if they can't take credit for it, and this person is basically running off script and doing their own thing and doing a good job at it, that's really uncomfortable for a narcissist, because it means that they are not in control of the situation, and they are not controlling the narrative, and they are not controlling this person that they usually have control over. And so they're going to want to try to rope that back in really quick and regain control by tearing that person down, putting them back in their place, and letting them know that whatever it was they just did wasn't so great, and they better not go off script in the future. Another situation where a narcissist might tear you down for something that's actually good is when you are improving yourself in some way. Maybe you're building your confidence. Maybe you're building healthier habits. Maybe you're getting into good shape, like you're losing weight, you're exercising. Maybe you're going back to school, and maybe you're doing really well in your career. Maybe you've had some really big successes in your career. And maybe you're doing some things that are giving you a little more independence, like especially in education or a career. Maybe you're on a road where you might not need the narcissist to survive in a way that maybe you do now. Anything where you're getting better, you're improving yourself. If a narcissist in your life has a really close relationship with you where they depend on you to stay in a certain bracket in the hierarchy in their imagination, and you start to lift out of that, that can feel very threatening to them. And so they will minimize what you're doing. They will criticize what you're doing. They will make fun of what you're doing. And they might even shame you for what you're doing. Like maybe if you're a stay-at-home mom and you've decided to go back to school, maybe they will shame you for taking time away from the family. Or maybe if you're gaining healthier habits and you're eating healthier now, maybe they will shame you for not making the kind of food they always liked, or they'll guilt trip you for that, or they'll pressure you into eating unhealthy food. Like maybe they want to go out to dinner and they want to go somewhere really unhealthy, and they just pressure you and make you feel like you're hurting them by just wanting to eat your own thing, even if you offer to just bring your own food and let them eat whatever they want. You know, somehow they're going to make it feel like you're bringing them down with your healthier habits. And again, a narcissist is going to want to tear down things that are making you a better, more confident, more independent person, because like in the first example I gave, it's a form of losing control. They're losing control of you when you are blossoming into your own autonomous person for reasons that have nothing to do with them. And that's really uncomfortable for them. And you're also bettering yourself. And when you're bettering yourself, maybe you think you're better than them now, and maybe they think you're better than them now. If you're going back to school and they never went to college, but neither of you ever went to college, and now you're going to college, maybe they always felt comfortable knowing that you never went to college. If they feel a little insecure or ashamed of that for some reason, maybe it's always made them feel better that you didn't go either, so you're not better than them. And now you're going back to school. Now you think you're going to be better than them. Now this shame that they already feel is going to be magnified because they're with someone better than them, and so they're going to want to tear that down. And I think, you know, a lot of emotionally immature people might do this to their partners or people that are close to them. But to a narcissist, this is their whole personality. This is the only way they know how to function, is by tearing the people around them down so that they can build themselves up, because it's the only way they know how to manage their self-esteem. So if you've gone off script, you've run off the rails, and you're improving yourself in some way, they've lost control and they can't mold you into the person that you're supposed to be to make them feel better about themselves now. And that's really threatening. And that is a reason that they will tear you down and make fun of the things that you're doing and make you feel bad about the things that you're doing, when actually you're bettering yourself. Actually, you're doing good things. Another situation where a narcissist will tear you down for something that's actually a good thing is when you start to see things for what they really are. When you start to realize that, wait, this person doesn't actually care about me. This person is gaslighting me. They are making things up. They're trying to upset me on purpose. They're picking fights for no reason. They're using me. They're manipulating me. They don't appreciate me. When you start to understand that the benefit of the doubt that you've been giving to this person is wrong, that this person really doesn't mean well, and that this person's actively been harming you or abusing you for who knows how long, when you start to see that, somebody who has had control of you all this time will, of course, feel very threatened, because being able to control your perception of reality is part of what makes them feel like they're in control of their own lives. So when you start to see them for who they are, you're bringing accountability into the situation, because you're bringing in the reality that they've been dishonest with you. They've been manipulating you. They've been pretending to feel ways they don't feel. They've been pretending to care about you. They've been a fraud, basically. And when you start to see that, you are bringing accountability into the situation, because you're calling them out on something that they've been doing. And to a narcissist, any form of accountability is shame. They cannot separate accountability from deep, toxic shame. And so this is extremely threatening to them for that reason alone. You're calling them out on something that they don't want to take accountability for. They'd almost rather die than take accountability for the way that they've been treating you. And of course, on top of that, they're losing control of you at the same time. And so when you start to see them for who they really are, and you start to call them out on things they're doing, like you start to catch them in their lies, or you start to push back on their gaslighting and on their unfair, invalid criticisms of you, they're going to tear you down as much as they can. So they might say things to you like, you're always imagining things, or you can't take a joke, or wow, I didn't realize that you felt that way about me. Wow, you never really cared about me, did you? Instead of owning up to the way they've been treating you or whatever mind games they've been playing with you, they would much rather turn it around on you, regain control, put you back in your place by tearing you down and convincing you that you're making things up in your head, you're crazy, you're making a big deal out of nothing, you're overreacting, yada, yada, yada. So when a narcissist is trying to convince you that you're making things up in your head, that you're crazy, that you're overreacting, that you don't have a sense of humor, stop and ask yourself, is this person trying to distract me from something that I'm finally seeing with a clear head? I'm finally starting to understand something. Are they trying to stop that? And if so, it's a good thing that's happening to you. This awareness might cause a lot of disruption to your life, but suddenly becoming aware of the reality of the situation you're in is a good thing. And a narcissist is always going to try to fight back against that. Another situation in which a narcissist will try to tear you down because something good is actually happening to you, or because you have something really good, is just that. If they're jealous of something, maybe it's a trait you have, maybe it's a talent, maybe they perceive you as somebody who's really intelligent or really beautiful or handsome. Maybe they're jealous of friends that you have. Maybe you make friends more easily than they do and they're jealous of that. Or maybe it's possessions you have. Maybe they're jealous of your car, maybe they're jealous of your job, or whatever. There's something about you that they think is really great that they don't have. And instead of trying to improve themselves, trying to work on themselves and gain the things that they want, they just tear you down and make you small and minimize the things you have so that they don't have to feel bad about not having those things anymore. So when a narcissist is criticizing your choice of clothing or the way you talk or your friends or whatever, when they're criticizing something personal about you, stop and ask yourself, is this person actually tearing something down about me that is actually one of my strengths or one of my gifts or something that I'm just really lucky to have? Is this something good about me that I have that this person is trying to minimize because they're jealous? And if so, that's a good thing. That means that you have something to be grateful for. And the narcissist recognizes that, and the narcissist doesn't want you to be grateful. The narcissist wants to minimize and crap all over the good things you have so that they don't have to feel bad about not having those things. When you're trying to understand why a narcissist tears other people down for really childish reasons, I think it's helpful to understand that narcissists see the world as a hierarchy. Everything is a hierarchy to a narcissist. The second a narcissist walks in a room, they are sizing people up. They are ranking them on a scale. The narcissist has no equals in their mind. Nobody is as good or as bad as a narcissist in their imagination. They're right here, and everyone in the world is either better than them or worse than them in this hierarchy in their head. And so, of course, a narcissist would like to have most people underneath them. They would like to be better than most people. If you are part of a narcissist's life and they are comfortable with where you are in this hierarchy in their imagination, you're probably below them somewhere. No matter how great you are, no matter how much you do for them, right? They've got to somehow twist it around to where you're below them. They're better than you. Maybe you're a really good piano player, right? But they're the one that taught you how to do it. Or maybe you're really smart, but that's because you got it from them or whatever. So they're still better than you because you would be nothing without them. So if you're in a narcissist's life and they are comfortable with where you are underneath them, for whatever reason they imagine you're underneath them, but you start to do something or something starts to happen to you or from you that in their imagination starts to elevate you, where you start getting into a dangerous zone where maybe you are better than them, they're going to do everything they can to tear you back down because they cannot see you as an equal. They have to keep you underneath them somehow in this hierarchy in their imagination. And it is really, really threatening to them. It really brings a lot of toxic shame up for them when you start to elevate yourself, you start to do things that make them feel like maybe they're not as good as you are. And that's why they will tear you down, because they take it personally. Remember, this is all about them. It has nothing to do with you. This is all about them and the distorted way that they look at the world, the distorted lens they see the world through, the pathological, toxic insecurity and shame that they're constantly battling with all day. They're using you as a tool to control their own toxic shame and their own emotional problems. And so when you go off script and you start doing things that interfere with the way they're using you to manage their own emotional problems, they're going to fight back really hard. And it's not necessarily to tear you down, it's to build themselves up. That's the real goal. That's what they're really trying to do. It's just that in the process, they can give you a complex that lasts the rest of your life and completely destroys your self-confidence. And so that's the reason I'm making today's video. I want anyone out there who is experiencing this to start practicing the art of stopping and questioning invalid, cruel, inappropriate criticism coming from somebody. When somebody that you trust or someone you've been in any kind of relationship with for a very long time starts tearing you down and criticizing you, it can be really, really difficult for a lot of us to stop our minds and question what they're saying, because we're so used to just internalizing this criticism. We're so used to giving validity to what this person is saying. So practice stopping and asking yourself, did I just do something really good? Did I just have something really good happen to me? Did I just do something that made this person feel a little bit smaller because I did something that shows that they aren't necessarily better than me and that threatens them? Is there something about me that's actually really good that they are trying to destroy? And I think when you frame it in that way, you can really start to undo this programming of believing, at least subconsciously, that this person is smarter than you, their opinion is more important than yours is, their comfort is more important than yours is, what they think of you really, really matters. All these ingrained beliefs that can really give them a lot of power to destroy your self-esteem. When you just stop taking everything they say so seriously and you start questioning, why did they just tear me down over this? Why did they criticize me over this thing? Was it valid criticism, or are they just trying to manage their own ego, trying to manage their own emotional problems? And if you can practice doing this, my hopes are that you can stop seeing the narcissist's attempts to tear you down as something that they have any kind of right to do, and you can start seeing it as a sign that maybe you're actually on the right track. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.